I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Yeah, give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How have I been successful in life?
Well, hello there. Welcome to another edition of the MMA Analysis Podcast. I'm your host, because the other host doesn't show up. Even though he says he shows up for pay-per-views, we know he doesn't show up for pay-per-views. Even if Dubronx was fighting, I'm still pretty sure Lance wasn't coming to this one. But we're here for you, ladies and gentlemen. The three musketeers, as it were, of victorious betting week. Wow, it happened. We all won at the same time. Shaun, how you doing?
I'm not doing terrible because, yes, I finally won a week. That has not happened very often this year. Me winning and us all winning in a week. These are very rare occurrences in 2023, so we got to take them when we can get them. You've done much better job of digging out of the hole that you created. I'm digging to China, man.
It happens. It happens. Wes, Munich dead because Lance is nowhere to be found. Double consensus, 1-0 in history. You can mark it down.
Well,
Both underdogs.
Yeah, two dogs. We'll talk about it, but man, damage across your chest. I mean, so good. Like it's awesome when you get a dog like that and like you break it down perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like it plays out like perfectly. Yeah, good week, man. It was my best week of the year. It only took me 10.5 months to have a great week, and still down 30 something units. So I'm not beating my chest, but
There's
I'm gonna
still 2
there's some
months to
time
go in the year.
I got some time to yeah. We're gonna try to get it as close as possible. If I can get that to single digits, I'll be very, very happy. But yeah, let's break down this card. Hopefully get some winners. We got 1 week left before the off week, and us three savages go try not to kill ourselves in Las Vegas. So can't wait.
I was going to say there's 2 things that contributed to the winning week, I think. One is the vibes from the upcoming Vegas trip, obviously. Vibes high. And 2, vibes even higher because the previous week, I'm not sure if you remember, but Grant Dawson got knocked out on literally the first punch of the fight, and that was hilarious. So super high vibes because of all that. We'll see.
Nice.
People are saying. We'll see if we can keep going into UFC 294. But first, quick recap. We've done the victory lapping. That's pretty much all we're going to do. On UFC Vegas, I think I said 82 last week, but it was actually 81, allegedly. Who cares? Barboza and Yusuf at the top, but we're going to go very quickly through the prelims. Emily Ducati, unanimous decision over Ashley Yoder. Chris Gutierrez, more like Chris Gutierrez. Nobody likes watching this dude and his stupid fucking calf kicks. Unanimous decision over Alateng Haley. Melissa Dixon, unanimous decision over Irina Alexieva. Those are, people in the UFC. Terrence McKinney, 22nd knockout over Brendan Marat. You bring in a warm body for Terrence McKinney, and he will do what needs to be done. Dainera Lisboa, unanimous decision over Ravenna Oliveira. Sure. And the final prelim, which is the only one we'll probably be talking about. Darren the Damage Elkins. 3rd round submission over TJ Downtown Brown, or Downtown TJ Brown, however he says it. He got taken downtown. Tell you that. Shaun, thoughts on the prelims?
I don't give a shit about any of them other than Elkins, as you stated. That was awesome. TJ Brown is terrible, and he is not smart. I don't know why he was choosing to grapple with Elkins, because that is Elkins' way to win. When the fight was on his feet, Brown was having success, and the damage was able to just draw him in to just scramble and get beat up. And yeah, I was pretty pissed when he didn't snatch that up in the first. I was like, is this really gonna be how this goes?
It was close.
This year has been fucking rough.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be a little sprinkle on it, but no, the damage was obviously too much. And yeah, it's that was a nice dog win. Fairly easy. Which is crazy to say in a Darren Elkins fight.
Yeah. Wes, prelim thoughts.
Not much on anything else. We did have some women's overs on the prelims that were incredible prices, and I hit both of them. Terrence McKinney, does what he does to warm bodies. The guy is like, man, there's few guys that like you serve them up, something like that, and he never fails to like let you down on that kind of shit. The dude will smoke those fucking Walmart greeters, man. It's fun stuff. Yeah, man, look, when it was on the feet with Elkins, like the dude's chin is still like really good. He's just taking so much damage. You never know when, like, if it's a really strong puncher, it could be any one of them that's gonna, but he'll take some from time to time.
Not TJ Brown.
Not TJ Brown. We talked about that. You don't have to worry. We knew that was going to happen. We knew it was going to be on the feet for times.
Yep.
But we talked about TJ Brown's not one of those heavy hitters where you got to worry about it. And man, like even at this stage, Darren Elkins grappling and scrambles and reverses and shit are like top fucking notch, man. Like top of the food chain type stuff. Like his shit on the mat is very, very fucking good. TJ Brown, even like they would fall a couple times, and TJ Brown had like full mount on him like one time, and Elkins literally just fucking scrambled out from under him, flipped him around, and was on top, just dropping shit, man. It's like, and TJ Brown just kept going to it. Like he would land some punches and shoot. I'm like, yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, great fight, man.
Well, he would land some punches, but every time Elkins landed one back, TJ Brown was like,
Brown
oh,
would
shit,
shoot.
just shot.
Yeah, he'd grab him. Yeah, he'd grab a hold of him, and then he was like, "Fuck." Yeah, it's awesome when you can break them down like that, and I think all of us agreed on that one. When we usually agree like that clearly on a side and how it's going to go, we usually do pretty good on it. And yeah, love that one. I think we all had Elkins, all had some sub. I had a bad number on round 3, so Brad got an insane number on round 3, but yeah, great fucking hit.
Shout outs to the beer that I just popped open. This is tremendous. It's a Naimov stout. Wes has no idea what I'm talking about right now.
Never heard of
Shaun knows what a Nanaimo bar is, so because he's Canadian. Delicious. If I could bring them into your country, I would, Wes.
What do they do? Like make candy bars or protein bars or something?
No, it's like a specific type of dessert.
Oh, okay.
It's like a brownie, and there's a certain type of filling and a certain type of topping on top of it.
Oh, we do
ganache, some custard, some coconut crumble base.
We do little ones like in our little supermarkets you can buy that are single. They're Philadelphia cream cheese does little dessert kind of bars that are cream cheese with topping on like strawberry or crumble or something like that.
I guess. Similar idea. Anyway, the beer is delicious.
It's not nano. Not nano.
It's also a much higher percentage than I thought, so I'm glad I'm cracking it at 9:30 into the show instead of like an hour into the show, because then I'd be completely incoherent. Main card of the UFC Vegas card. Bantamweight division, Christian Rodriguez, unanimous decision over Cameron Simon. Michel Pereira, first round KO of Andre Petrosky, 1:06. Jonathan Martinez, leg kick TKO, halfway through the fight, 2 minutes 26 seconds of round 2, and Viviane Arujau, unanimous decision over Jennifer Maia, who
Bingo.
sadly has now been cut from the UFC. It's crazy how you can go from co-main event to cut because everyone wants to fight and the cards are so deep, and you really need to pay attention to those fights at the top of the card because
that's it.
They might stick around, right?
That's the straw that has me
Last
boycotting
straw.
UFC. I'm not watching them ever again.
Can't believe they would do that.
Lance is in shambles. That's why he didn't show up, because they cut fucking his girl.
Shaun, thoughts on the main card up to the main?
I think we knew Cameron Simon is kind of going to be a fade plan at some point. It's kind of a greasy way to lose his undefeated record when a guy just comes in 4 pounds overweight and uses that weight pretty effectively in the fight. But I don't care too much. I had Petrosky over 1.5 and himself in the same game parlay and just over 2.5. So that's why that happened. Yeah, it's Petrosky's way to win was to grapple. And I know guys are it's funny because like guys who are kind of one-dimensional, sometimes they're scared, right? So they're scared to like shoot from too far away because they think they'll just get timed. But that was the only way he was going to win, and he did not shoot once. I know the fight only lasted a minute, but he didn't really try at all in that minute, and then
it didn't even look like he was setting up a shot.
No, he had no.
He does that though. That's the problem with the dude. That's why I had worries, is because that dude does that from time to time, man.
Yep. So I paid the price. Martinez, just man, those kicks are devastating. I know we hate the calf kicks, but he gets them in the calf. He gets them a little higher, and he fucks people up. So, yeah, he's a good guy to bet on. I had doesn't go. I had under 2.5 or doesn't go. And that was a nice way to do that. I had Araujo by decision. That was she's not going to finish people. She doesn't finish these girls that are in the top 10. So took the extra money that on top of her money line, and it was a close fight. Don't really care.
Wesley.
Yeah, Brad liked Christian Rodriguez on the show. He was up at like minus 140 or so, which was just kind of rich for me in that spot. I thought it was going to be a really close fight. Then he missed weight by 4 pounds. The line went down to minus 120. So I fucking bet Christian Rodriguez on Saturday. And Sean's right. He used every bit of that fucking weight cut miss. And seemed like the slightly bigger, stronger guy in that fight. I think Simon still might be okay, like an okay dude. Like he seems like he's got some skills and stuff. Rodriguez just might be like a level above him. Like I think Rodriguez is pretty good. Petrovsky, man, I ended up like I like the over. I was on the over too, Sean. I ended up talking myself into betting Petrovsky small because he was 2-1 dog. Man, we talked about it. That dude will have starts of fights and chunks of fights where he wants to stand until he gets cracked, and then he'll start fucking grappling. Well, Pereira looks like a fucking 185er. Is massive. He was massive. That's one of those dudes where you're like, how the fuck did he make 170? Like how?
That's Rumble territory.
Straight up, man. He looks fucking just huge at 185. Like he was bigger than Petrovsky at 185.
Yep.
Maybe he's good up there. I mean, if he's got Petrovsky's taken some licks from guys, right? I mean, he's been cracked by some dudes, and man, Pereira got him out of there. Jonathan Martinez is pretty good. That guy's got some fights at 135, man. I don't know if he's top 5 good, but he's pretty fucking good. Araujo money line and decision, that might have been the best bet on the card for real. Like Maya is terrible.
I mean, let's
we got
not dismiss the Elkins. All right,
we'll say, but I mean, You even had moments at the Elkins fight where you knew you could be in some trouble. There was no trouble. There was no resistance. This was as easy as it got. That decision price at like plus 400, plus 425 was absolutely insane. So yeah, I had some of that too. It was nice.
Yeah, I think back to back, the Elkins and Rodriguez fights might be the two most entertaining fights of the year, and at least for the types of fights that I like to watch. Just like
Lower
a ton
weight.
of scrambles, guys landing back and forth. Those were great. That's the type of shit I'll sign up to watch every day. I know that Rodriguez used the weight, but the weight wasn't the reason that literally every punch he threw as Simon tried to enter the pocket landed on the dude. So defense is awful. He's got tons of skills, tons.
But he gets punched a lot. He gets punched a lot.
He's got a chin now when he's 22 or whatever. But he needs to clean that up if he's going to be like a high-end prospect, which he still could be. And Rodriguez, he's a featherweight at this point. Pereira, like you said, is pretty much a light heavyweight. It's weird because when we saw this fight last week, I kind of assumed that whoever was fighting Pereira was moving up to his weight because he's so big. But then he was so big at the new weight too. It's fucked. And I said before the show that I would give Jonathan Martinez credit for his leg kicks, and that at least he actually has leg kicks that can stop somebody. They're not just the tippy tap calf kicks. So kudos to Jonathan Martinez. He's a tough fight. And co-main event, we made some money on. So that was nice. Main event, incredible.
Woo.
Wes, I feel like I want to hear from you first on this one. Because you've been a big Edson guy. But sometimes, as all of us do, you fell off the wagon a little bit. We were back on it this time, though. Talk to me about Edson Barboza.
Yeah, well, I mean, I bet Giga against Edson, and it actually paid off. I bet him against Bryce Mitchell. I bet him against Billy Q. I bet him here. It's been pretty good on Edson here lately, but yeah, I mean, look, first thing, if he would have pulled off the head kick, the dude's highlight reel is like all time. Literally, it's one of the all-time highlight reels. I mean, knee to the body knockouts to spinning head kick knockouts. Just guy's insane, man. He's 37. I thought he was toast, bro. Like I thought he was. And let's just start off. Chris Lee once again, no 10-8. No 10-8 for that first round. Like Chris Lee, and I keep hearing it from all the MMA fucking media types that all these guys know what they're doing. They take these courses and stuff. They know how to judge fights. No, they don't. They don't know what they're fucking looking at. If that's not a 10-8, shut it down.
He should be investigated for not having a 10-8.
Yep. That's not having a 10-8's worse there than the Grasso getting a 10-8 and the Shevchenko fight. Like that's worse. Look,
he almost died for a long time.
Edson getting through that was incredible. I thought you could have probably stopped that at a couple points. He was staggering and like, now I know Edson does that a lot. He'll back up to the cage and shit when he gets tagged, but man, he was like staggering sideways a couple times. Good on, I think it was Herb that ref.
It was Herb.
And yeah, I mean, that was a good call to let it go. Man, to get out of that first, to almost fucking catch that head kick. Like Youssef didn't like go down at all in my book off of that fight. Like I'm actually very impressed with Youssef off of that fight. That's the kind of fight that could make a champion. like getting through that 5 rounds with Edson. But you didn't win, but getting through that fight, you need those to eventually go 5 rounds with somebody that's holding a belt. So you said
There's a
didn't go
lot of
down.
guys that come out of that round 1 and just get knocked out early in round 2.
Yeah, if they didn't finish that fight, yeah, and just to survive the head kick, was that in the second or third? Like it was the third. So like to even come back from that, like Brad said, to get through the second, like I thought Edson won all 4 rounds after the first. Like I think the second was kind of close, but he won all 4 rounds after that. Yusuf never was out of that fight. He stayed in that fight, kept throwing. Just an unbelievable performance from Edson. That's like, I don't know, man. His legacy is probably already secured, I would think, but that's just like on top. And he's got a little more to go. He's definitely got a little more to go, but that dude's a legend, man. That guy's been around in the UFC for 15 years now. I mean, he's had fucking 20 something fights, highlight reel after highlight reel,
and fought the toughest guys,
the best of the best. Yeah,
he's been around in the UFC. So I just looked it up since the Detroit card, UFC 123 back in 2010. And I don't think he's ever lost to somebody outside of the top 15.
No.
Which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at the guys he's fought along the way. It's all of the top 15. It's not like just losing to a guy outside. He's fought the top 15 of that division. It's been he's been like a couple divisions, right? Like he was
lightweight,
55,
and, featherweight,
5 and then 45.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been through 2 of the hardest, deepest weight classes that the sport has. Yeah, just incredible performance. And like he said after the fight, they got me in the spot now to where they're bringing these guys to where are they next level? Billy Q, Yusuf, and all Edson's done is highlight reeled, well, close. Insane performance from Yusuf, almost highlight reel and highlight reel Billy Q. So fucking love him, man. Dude's a legend.
He's been the gatekeeper to the top 10 in 2 divisions for almost a decade. Like it's pretty wild. It's a cherry on top at 37 to be able to grit his way through that first round and come back and win the next 4 rounds. Impressive. We've never really questioned his heart. I know like some guys have been able to get him out of there quickly, just certain styles matchups, but I mean, he was still throwing shit late in many fights that he got beat up for 2.5 rounds for. He's kind of always been there. Just super impressive. Seems like a pretty good dude. So it's nice to see when guys like that get big wins when they're kind of getting fed to the younger guys.
Nothing to add on my side. Very happy for Edson. Very impressed by the performance. He's a legend. We're going to move on to UFC 294. It's taking place in Abu Dhabi. I got a scoop. Joe Biden's going to be in the front row. He's going to continue his Middle East World Tour. Tickets paid for by the Saudis. Very generous gift. Very nice of him to accept that gift. And it's going to be fun. The card is titled "The Assassination of Alexander Volkanovski by the Coward Islam Mac and Cheese." The co-main event going to be Khamzat Chimaev taking on another guy fighting outside of his normal weight class. The people are in a lather for this one, boys. It is stacked. I mean, honestly, how much does it suck what this card is today versus what it was 3 weeks ago? Because that was awesome, and this is oof. Shaun?
Yeah, some people have kind of talked about it being better. I mean, I guess it just depends on who you're a fan of.
By names, like maybe a little more name value, but
names is I guess more.
It's not better
name wise, but matchup wise, I don't think it's better. I would have liked to see what Costa could bring, like an actual real 185er. Not a guy with no knees and guys that's blowing out his possible knees in warm up, doing.
Here's the thing.
I don't think
How many years have we known that Usman has no knees? Like, is this really shocking that his knees are shitty?
No.
But, yeah. Anyway. Anything else we want to get out before we get into the breakdowns here?
Doe Bronx not being on this card just kind of
sad.
I'll say it again. Why the fuck are you going that hard and sparring and putting yourself in that chance to get a cut like that? That's insane, man.
Didn't you hear? Bilal Muhammad said he was doing it on purpose so he could pull out of the fight.
I read that. I hadn't been on Twitter like all day, and I saw that a little earlier and just was can you roll your eyes around the fucking back of your head and do a full 360? Because this shit's so dumb, man.
Muhammad's just
like,
the worst.
Well, the
He's
MM
an absolute fucking absolute terror to watch. It's like watching paint dry. And now I guess he's trying to be a fucking dickhead to get people to hate him, but he's just nothing to me.
I'm with our boy Magic.
I hope he just continues to get passed over for big fights.
Usually it's not
Dude
Shaun
ducks
with those
Rachmanov.
I want somebody to do some bad stuff to Bilal. Like he needs a
Duck
good
and
smash.
Rachmanov. He doesn't want any of the shade cat.
I mean, props to Wonder Boy for stepping up on that because he might be killed. It might be fucking ugly stuff.
Speaking of bad stuff, we're kicking it off. Middleweight division. Sharapova-Medov. This dude assaults people on escalators and outside of clubs, and he kicked a dude after he subbed him in a BJJ tournament. He just seems like
piece
an
of shit,
asshole.
Medov.
There you go. There's something I can make out of that. We'll get back to it. It looks like he's fought a lot of not real MMA fights. So you kind of question if he's ever actually been in a fight against a guy who can fight. And he's facing Bruno Silva, who sometimes can fight. He's a dude that went 15 minutes with Alex Bahia. So that's pretty good. And he's had some other shit where he's looked awful. So we'll see. Anyway, the Shitmadov is minus 275. Bruno Silva plus 235. Shaun?
It's interesting. I've lost some money on Bruno Silva. Lost money against the Meerkat. I can't remember if I was dumb enough to. I think I threw a dart on him by KO against Brendan Allen because Brendan Allen sometimes doesn't have a chin. But yeah, he's got waxed a couple times. As for this Russian dude, like you said, I don't. That record, the way that he's winning, I don't think he's really been tested. Hasn't fought in just about a year. He fights a somewhat guy, a guy that has fought some people in Ragozin, and then a week later he flies to Thailand and fights a featherweight, and he's a middleweight. That doesn't seem like a legit fucking fight at all.
I mean, he's got a bunch of fights on here where
wait. And who did that featherweight fight just like a couple months ago?
That guy got knocked out in under 2 minutes by the Jambalaya Tuxedo in 2023.
Bro.
Oh, man. And if you guys don't get that joke, that's because you're looking at the fights on Tapology and not Sherdog, because they spell.
And you haven't been listening to this podcast for like 8 years, because that was a.
Nobody's listening to this podcast now, so nobody's definitely been listening for 8 years.
Fair.
But man, they really fucked that name up. You got to go over to Sherdog to get the Jambalaya Tuxedo.
Yep. So I'm gonna lose a little bit of money on Bruno Silva again. Him inside is like plus 325. It's a test. We'll see. This Russian might just smoke him, but this Russian seems fraudulent. So we're gonna see.
Wesley.
Yeah, that to add on a little bit of that, like he's got 7 or 8 modified MMA rules fights, which are 30 seconds on the ground. Then they you can't stay on
Hand
the
him
ground.
up.
Like, Bruno Silva could absolutely take this guy down and drop hammers. Like if he's smart, that's what he
The
does.
question is he going to?
Well, I mean, at this kind of price, we gotta pay to find out. Like seriously, this dude looks like. I mean, the Tapology pick, I was done. I mean, this man is like an extra in fucking kickboxer and shit. Like he's got ropes and shit wrapped around his forearms. Like dude's looking for a barrel of glass to roll his fist in and shit. No, you got to take Silva here at the price, man. If this guy smokes him, then he smokes him. But if Silva has a half a brain cell left, he takes this guy down and drops the hammers on him. You got to take a shot at that kind of price.
We obviously have Rob who got jump.
Rob, appreciate it. It's got to be Bruno Silva here. Like, this is the most fraudulent of fraudulent records that I've ever seen in my life. And even if it is legit, he's not wrestling or submitting any of these guys. And Bruno Silva, that's a tough fucker to knock out. Like, Alex Bahia tried, and he couldn't get it done. I don't think some Russian beating up, grocery baggers is going to be able to do it. If you're not going to grapple and actually try and submit him, you're not going to have a lot of success. And even at the lowest levels of whatever he's fighting, this dude has 0 submissions. Like, if you're a good fighter, you get submissions by accident on the regional scene. It just happens sometimes. So we're going with Bruno Silva. Kicking it off. First fight on the card. Consensus. Plus 235. And we took way too long on the first fight of the night. So we are going to move it along quickly now. Women's strawweight division. Jin Yu, not that phrase song. This phrase song. Taking on Victoria. That's not a lady. That's a Dudakova. She's minus 500, Sean. What are we doing here?
Dude looks like a lady.
UFC's really trying to get this OnlyFans chick another win because why is she fighting?
Dudakova does look like a lady.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why Jinyu Frey is still in the UFC. I guess it's to prop up the OnlyFans fighter, which fair enough. Dudakova probably takes her down and submits her.
Wes?
Yeah, she probably wins, but like, what do we know off of a decision on the Contender Series and then like a snapped arm off of a dumb takedown? Like, what do we know? She's minus 500 and something. Again, like Jin Yu Frey sucks, and I'm not betting her, but there's just no way you can touch this chick in minus 500. You're crazy if that's your. I mean, maybe there's a prop. I don't know. I got nothing on this fight.
It's gonna be Jin Yu Frey by decision, 600, or split decision, whatever that price comes out to be. It'll probably be like 14 or something. And yeah, I don't care and probably won't be watching, but that seems like given what we've seen, the last couple dog walk parlays have been pretty successful, which means
they had
7 women's fights in a row have gone to decision, at least. I don't think I was betting them before that. That's one of the keys to success. Anyway, featherweight division. Maybe a good one. I don't know. John Naimov I believe that's how you translate it. John Naimov taking on Nathaniel Wood. Sean.
Hey, that's the dude that makes your beers.
No, Naimov.
Close enough, bro. Fucking close enough. Out of
That was a good callback.
these
Though. I
Russian.
appreciate that.
Yep.
We better get a sponsorship with them. I'll talk to some people.
There we go. Yeah, Naimov obviously took that malarkey fight last second to get back in the UFC after losing on Contender Series. He was losing. He landed a punch. Props to him. Now he seems like he's more back in his normal weight class. Nathaniel Wood is the more skilled guy, but he is a guy that probably should be a 35er against the guy that has fought some at 55. So there might be a size discrepancy. The skill difference should still be good enough for Wood to take it, but I don't trust him enough. Wood, he's gonna lose sometime soon. I don't think it's here, but it's coming.
Wesley.
Yeah, I mean, probably, hand speed and skill difference here is definitely to Wood, but he shouldn't be a 145er, man. Like, I get he can't make 135 healthily anymore, but man, he's just too small, bro. And he should win this fight, but man, he's gonna get like grapple fucked by somebody eventually. Like, he's susceptible to takedowns and shit already. I don't know if this dude's got the power to get him out of there. Like, Wood still got a pretty good chin up at 45, but man, it's just one of those, like, I think Wood's the better guy, probably wins, but it's at a point at this weight class I don't want to lay minus 300 and something on Wood against guys that have some paths to victory. So just a pass here for me.
Yeah, I remember this was pretty early in the pandemic, so I remember watching Naimov just lose a pretty clear decision to Colin Anglin.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago, and that guy's not good. Nathan Wood is way better than him. I don't think he's going to get a stoppage here, so I'm kind of leaning towards the decision prop at plus money. I just think a lot of the time he wins this fight and he wins it by decision. So probably end up with a little bet on Wood by decision here. Lightweight division. Anshul Jubli taking on Mike Breeden. I remember Mike got Breeden by Alex Hernandez. You see what I did there? Yeah. Yeah. Oz, maybe. Anyway, Sean, what is this?
I don't know. What are we doing here? Mike Breeden is 10-6 as a fighter. He's 0-3 in the UFC. Been finished in the first round in 2 of those 3 losses. Like, this guy's not good. Is the guy he's fighting any good? I have no idea. He's probably not great, but is he good enough to beat Mike Breeden? Probably.
Wes.
Yeah. Mike Breeden fucking sucks. Not laying fucking minus 270 on whoever the fuck. I do kind of like an under a little bit here, though. It's like plus 120. Breeden just sucks. This guy sparked a few dudes. I mean, if I want some action, which
you do,
probably do.
Saturday morning, come on now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take a little under. I think this guy can get Breeden out of there. Like, everybody gets Breeden out of there. So probably worth a little stab at some plus money. I was kind of surprised it was plus money.
I'm fighting my instincts so hard here. I really want to bet on Mike Breeden in this fight. I just look at the other dude's record. It's terrible. He's not even finishing dudes.
Nope, he's not.
We got a couple. But he should be finishing all of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like something about this just does not make sense to me. This is, I know he's Indian. Maybe eventually they'll start doing cards in India or something like that. But this dude's like the, I don't know, the Yaoji boy, Yaoji Kui, before Lil Jangalang and Wei Li Zhang and all the actual good Chinese fighters came around. This dude he's going to end up being an absolute scrub. I think I've got to take Mike Breeden at plus 250s that are out there. That's crazy. Crazy talk. We're doing it. Blind. Never even see this dude fight. Principle. Middleweight division. Abu Azaitar, the bag man.
Here we are.
Taking on Cedric Dumas. This is a legendary fight for the streets right here.
Yeah, it is.
This is, Shaun, talk to me.
I don't know. I was trying to find a dart on this fight. Zaitar's not even that good. Azaitar, he can't even really dust guys in round 1 in the UFC, so even that's not really appealing. We were able to cash the Dumbass against Brundage. He is still not good. He should win here. I don't care about this fight. Hopefully it's just meme. Something dumb happens. Hopefully one of these guys gets an early finish. That's what I'm gonna hope for.
Wesley.
Yeah, I think this is probably gonna just end up looking just dumb for a while. The old bag man hasn't fought in like, what is it, 2.5, 3 years, something like that. Yeah, the old dumbass man, like he got hyped up pretty good, and like he beat Brundage, but man, that was bad. Like he was looking bad in spots in that fight. I think this could probably go some rounds, man. This might even go 15 and just be some dumb shit. So I was kind of looking at the over. Like the over is the over 2.5 is some plus money in this fight. Plus 125 in some spots. I kind of like that. I think we see almost the dumbass doing shit like in the Brundage fight. I just don't think he's a finisher. If the bagman doesn't get him out of there early, it's gonna get fucking slow and stupid, like some dumb heavyweight. So kind of like the over plus money.
Yeah, over, like Wes said, dumbass decision plus 300.
Ooh,
If
yeah.
there's bigger prices
Here we
than
go.
that, I would take them. Azaitar is not good, as the guy said. He's the bag man. He's not the man. He's the bag man. Yeah, he's gonna not get a finish in round 1 and get grappled. That brings us to the bantamweight division. Javid Whack-A-Mole Basharat taking on Victor Henry. Shaun, I was going to say something else, but then I realized my tone was deceptive there. I apologize.
Yeah.
But please break the fight down.
Yeah, I mean, Basharat is good. I've liked what I've seen from him for the most part. Wish he could be a little bit more of a finisher.
This
but
is the good one, right? This is the better Basharat, right?
better one. Yes.
Okay, yeah. I thought so.
But yeah, I do wish he could finish a little more. Victor Henry, it's hard to gauge that guy. Looks like $1 million against Barcelos, then looks pretty pedestrian against the Sunsao, and then looks pretty good against Gravely, even though it was a split decision. It was kind of a interesting fight, the way that was judged. But I think Basharat is the side here. Obviously, the line is saying that this should be a pretty one-sided fight. I think the laying minus 600 is tough against a guy that is probably not going to finish this fight. So I think it's probably, if you're looking that way, I would probably just take the over 2.5 if you want to parlay. You get a little bit cheaper because I don't think Basharat is going to finish Henry. Henry's tough for the most part. Maybe I'll put over 2.5 in a parlay.
Wesley and Sean, fix your mic a little bit. It was like going in and out a little bit there. You're good.
I just think you take Basharat by decision here. Like he's winning this fight. If you don't, I guess you get a little safer with a 2.5. You get a couple minutes to mess with, but like there's some minus 138, 139 out there on Basharat by decision. Like he's winning this fight. Like he's better than Victor Henry. It's do you think he finishes a fight? I mean, he's not done that shit up to this point. Victor Henry is a really tough guy. So I mean, if I play anything, it's going to be Basharat by decision, but I don't know, it's a little juicy for a decision. I do think it goes 15 and he wins though.
This price is insane. I know that Victor Henry didn't look good against Rafael Assunção, but please name me the list of fighters that has looked good against Rafael Assunção. Like this is kind of the same as when he was this big of a dog against Raoni Barcelos. And I love Raoni and said during that fight that this is a tough matchup. He is not an easy guy to take down, and he's going to keep a super high pace on the feet. So Basharat kind of wants to just keep a high pace on the feet and occasionally get a takedown. And I think this is just going to turn into 15 minutes back and forth. So I'm going to take a little shot on Victor Henry. I should probably be taking a shot on Henry by decision or Henry by split decision because those would be silly prices. But I already put a half unit on Henry plus 410. We'll expand that as this price balloons throughout the week. Lightweight division. Trevor Peek visiting a new country for the first time in his life, taking on Mohamed Yahya, the Egyptian homie of legendary BJJ practitioner Hani Yahya. Sean.
I just assumed Hani converted to Islam. That is not what happened here.
Did Hani do a stint in prison?
No. We've been over this earlier in the podcast. Muhammad means John. Hani would be something else once he, converts over to Islam. It's just you gotta know your culture, Sean. I don't know your cultures.
Bad. I gotta hit the books. Yeah, Trevor Peek is a bit of a flawed fighter, but he is gritty. I have no idea how good Mohamed Yahya is. I'm not tuned into old UAE Warriors, so I don't really have too much on this fight. Trevor Peek going across the ocean to fight a Middle Eastern guy. I don't think it's gonna go his way if it's a close decision. That's for sure. But I'll pick Peek to win.
What the most shocking part of this fight is? That Trevor Peek has a passport.
Touche.
Yeah. Look, you think the UFC got it for him?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Oh, there's no way.
Wes, thoughts?
If he loses a close decision, I'm not sure he makes it out of there with his head because he's probably going to say some racist things. I don't know.
Like, no. You're judging him by his accent.
He's from
a person from Kentucky. That's just
he's sad. From Alabama. Look, I'm from Kentucky. They are like twice as racist down in Alabama as even we are up here. Not me.
So he's just a little bit more exception than you. He fights in a cage for a living, man. Come on.
I will say Trevor Peek sounds dumb and redneck, but he does sound like an okay dude. So we'll give him the benefit of a doubt. I don't know here, man. I don't know enough about Yahya. I was kind of looking at the over here. It's 1.5. I'm not sure Pete goes in there and gets this guy out of there quick. Maybe he does, but if it doesn't happen really fast, I just think it's another one that gets kind of slow and plodding. Might look at that over 1.5. Just seems like it should be a 2.5 on the over. So might look that way. I think Pete probably gets this guy. Probably the better dude. I don't know enough about the Yahya cousin here. We'll probably look at the over 1.5.
I worry about that bet just because all of the losses on Yahya's record are stoppages. So, like, if Peak really comes after him, is he going to stick around or is he just getting out of there? But honestly, I don't know enough about the guy to have any sort of opinion on this fight. I just think it's going to be hilarious because it's a Trevor Peak fight. And that brings us to the prelim headliner, flyweight division.
Okay.
Former title challenger Timmy Elliott taking on Muhammad Mokaev. Shaun, on a scale of 1 Mokaevs to 10 Mokaevs, how Mookie is Mokaev going to be?
That's a tough one. I think Elliott's going to force some Mookiness. We'll put it at a 6. Let's get some 6 level Mookiness on Saturday.
I like it.
I want the highest level of Mookiness as possible in this fight.
Elliott wants to grapple in this fight. The Mokaev is a good grappler. I don't think his submissions are great, especially from what we've seen. He just can't seem to get it done in there when he has tons of top control, and it seems like there's spots where he should be able to get guys out of there and he doesn't. You keep giving Tim Elliott opportunities in there and he's gonna make it a tough fight. I think he's gonna test the Mokaev's cardio. Mokaev is the better guy. Elliott has been out grappled before, so Mokaev probably wins, but that's a big number. I think I'm gonna have to take a peek at Elliott by decision.
Wesley.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think Mokaev is absolutely the better fighter here. He's the better grappler. His control is really good, but he does have a hard time finishing guys that are competent grapplers. Like, he finishes the Malcolm Gordons of the world and shit, but dudes that halfway know any little amount of defense on the mat, he controls them. He's very good at it, though. I just think, like, Mokaev wants to grapple, though, and that's all Tim Elliott wants to do. So he's just going to get some opportunities in this fight. Can Elliott pull something off? Put Mokaev in bad enough spots where he can get a couple rounds here? I mean, who knows? But, man, it like over 3-1, it feels like a shot I got to take against a guy that I don't think it's going to get Tim Elliott out of there, and it's going to give Elliott opportunities because it's going to be on the mat almost the entire fight. So, yeah, 3-1. Probably take a little Elliott here. Nothing big because Mokaev's absolutely the better guy, but just think the numbers a little wide on Tim Elliott.
Shout out Blue Jays legend Mookie Wilson. During some of those AL East Division winning teams in the early 90s. Those were some of my first baseball games. That was fun. The shit against the A's. I killed Shaun. I killed him.
But what about Mookie Blaylock?
Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, Atlanta Hawks legend.
You did not want to be playing offense against that man. Mookie Blaylock would get up in you. As far as this fight, I disagree. I think that Tim Elliott is going to do the typical dumb Tim Elliott stuff. He's going to lose pretty much every scramble that happens in this fight. And unless he snatches a guillotine in the first couple minutes, I think he's well on his way to losing a decision. You both said that Mokaev is not a big finisher. Tim Elliott is a difficult guy to finish, but an easy guy to win scrambles and positions against when you're a good wrestler. And I think there's going to be 15 minutes of that. And honestly, I think it's probably going to be entertaining. Just sort of back and forth, scrambly style stuff that we saw last week. I am going to enjoy it.
We need those with Mokaev, like, because he's good, but god damn, he's boring. Like,
this is a great type of matchup for him.
Yep. Yeah,
I don't think that he's been taken down, and I don't think that he has actually successfully defended a takedown just because he wants to grapple. And Elliott's a guy who's going to shoot on you. So I think we're going to get scrambles here. But plus money on Mokaev by decision, I'm going to be taking that as well. So there's a trend here. There's a lot of boring Russians that I'm betting by decision on this card. We'll see. Is that foreshadowing? Who knows?
Boy, Jorgen just got me a nice one. Finally, you fuck.
Main card. Saeed bets Nurmagomedov.
Saeed! It's our boy Aaron.
Taking on Muin Gafurov. We better see the GIF in the chat, Aaron. If we don't, you'll be disappointed. Shaun, you're in a different spot on my screen, but tell me what you think about these Saeed bets.
And now he has no mic. Amateur. Fucking
Wes,
no, he's fucking an amateur.
You tell me what you think about the Saeed bets while Shaun figures his stuff out.
Yeah, I think you're getting a discount on the Saeed here. I think this is a kind of a crazy price, man. Like, Gafurov is, I mean, he's okay. I bet on him last time against Castellana, and man, he looked like absolute shit. And that was coming off a couple decent LFA wins after losing on Contender Series and losing to another dude that's total shit and fuck, what's his name?
Anhelinger.
Yeah, Chad Alhanger. Yeah, I think if the Jonathan Martinez knockout doesn't happen, it happened. But if that fight didn't happen, Saeed is minus 600 here. I think Gafurov is just not on his level. Saeed has fought some really good dudes. Lost a close fight to Hani when Hani was like peaking, like everybody thought that he could be a title challenger and shit. And then the loss to Jonathan Martinez just doesn't look as bad by the fight that Martinez has. So I think you're getting an absolute discount on Saeed here. Minus 200 is kind of crazy to me. I love him as a parlay piece. There's some other chalk pieces up ahead that I think everybody kind of likes publicly, and people that are a little sharper on fights, which is kind of scary, but I will have Saeed with some of those. I think he's probably the best low price parlay piece on this entire card.
Yeah, what Wes said. I like Saeed here. I think Gafurov is one of those guys because I feel like I did this when he first came to the UFC, where I was like, oh, I saw him fight John Lineker in one, because John Lineker's fights.
I think he did okay against him, right? It was
exactly.
a while back, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know, that wasn't awful. He must be all right. But he's not. So yeah, I'll take Saeed here at minus 200, a little bit higher than minus 200, probably like minus 220 most places. But yeah, I like it. Shaun, are you back?
I think so.
You are back. Yes.
Got you.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. I don't like that was a bad performance against Castaneda. I like this guy was headlining LFA cards, and then he comes in and lays an egg against Castaneda. Maybe he shows up on Saturday and blows us away, but this should be a lot higher. Saeed is good, and I think he's parlay worthy.
I'm trying to come up with a parlay because I think I've got him in a parlay with somebody else. I'm just looking at prices. You have to be price sensitive. It's one of the most important things. Middleweight division, Ikram Aliskerov.
Ikram.
Icarus.
Anyway, he's taking on Warley Alves, and he's 14-1, and he's Russian, and the fight is in UAE. So I'm gonna assume that they want him to do well. I know he fought Phil Hoggs last time out, knocked him out. Honestly, means nothing. We've talked about the Hoggs' chin for a long, long time. Now he's fighting Warley, so he's facing another very, very flawed fighter. Shaun, how do we think he's going to do?
I'm assuming he probably knocks out Worley. Worley's has had a tough run. Getting smashed by the Bullfrog. I thought he had it was a close fight against Dalby, but getting out volume by Nicholas Dalby is not a great sign either. Aliskerov is going to be there to fade. I just don't think this is the spot. He probably runs through Worley and we get a better price next time. Definitely would have been a more interesting fight when he was going to fight the old French-Russian. But the UFC can only put on such good fights on last minute notice. So what can you do? Aliskerov probably gets him out of there early.
So
fortunately,
I'm not sure if it was my internet or your internet that glitched at the time, but it sounded like you said he was supposed to face old Truck Butt, which is tremendous. I hope there's a fighter somewhere named Truck Butt. Wes, your thoughts on this one? This is at 185, by the way, with Warley.
Yes, it's another.
That
flag.
might not be a bad thing. Warley doesn't need to be cutting weight and shit. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, Contender Series keeps going. We're going to have a lot of dudes that got truck butt going on because you're going to have fucking semi drivers and fucking cargo truck drivers.
Wait. Did we see the fight that got booked earlier today?
No. What is
what
it?
was
The pool?
Who?
I don't even know who the guys
tweet.
are.
Great tweet, Brad, by the way.
I don't know who the guys are, but oh my, they're like a fat version and then a fatter version of the exact same dude. It's hilarious. Martin Budai is one of them.
Oh man, I think
Budai versus Shamil Gaziev.
Oh, Gaziev is right. That's the best name ever for a fat heavyweight dude.
It is literally fat guy that put on 40 pounds. It's like the same dude.
That photo that Marcel tweeted with the matchup is just beautiful.
It's the same guy, just fatter and lighter.
Yep.
Brian said they're going to have to refill the pool after the cannon. Oh, man.
Anyway, sorry. Warley, Ikram, Wesley.
Yeah, look, this guy should probably beat Warley, but this is one of my OG dudes. This is one of my OG tough dudes because I watched Tough Brazil and shit. I watched them all. This is like my dude. Man, Warley inside plus 600. I'm going to throw a little and hope he just catches this guy with some kind of jump guillotine or something like that. I'll probably put the under 1.5 in some kind of small parlay because I think however this goes, Warley's going to go for it. If it doesn't work, this dude's going to probably get Warley out of there. So either way, I don't see this going too long. Going to take a little shot on my boy. Plus 600, I believe is out there. Yeah, plus 600.
Yeah, it's going to be something on Warley. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, whether it's round 1, which is plus 1,200 out there.
Yeah, that's
round 1 sub. I think I saw at plus 2,500. Like, if this dude shoots takedown in the first minute, because
he's
like
jumping for it.
Gilly.
Warley's jumping for it. He absolutely is jumping for it.
Right? Or like Warley sub, he'll jump for one later in the fight if the guy doesn't shoot early on in the fight. So Warley will swang with him until the guy shoots, and then he's going to jump a guillotine. That is what's going to happen in this fight. So I'm going to take some Warley round 1. I'm probably going to take some Warley sub at like plus 14 or whatever that is. And I'm probably going to take some Warley sub 1 at plus 2,500. It's all dumb. It's all going to be like a quarter unit or something stupid that doesn't matter. But if it hits, it's going to be absolutely glorious. And I know I'm going to get one of these fraud Russians on this card. I'm going to get one of them. I don't care which one. We're betting against them all. I hope it's this one. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. Anyway, light heavyweight division. Magomedov taking on good old Johnny Walker. Sean, dog walk fight of the card?
You don't always get those on pay-per-view main cards, but this is your option. I think this fight could look a lot like Johnny Walker's against Krylov. I think Magomedov or Ankalaev is going to get takedowns and not do too much with them. Getting Ankalaev by decision at plus 250, I think, is a pretty nice number. I know Walker's been kind of put out of there, but Ankalaev doesn't seem to be that guy. And unless you're cute labia and just run at him with your chin out with zero brain cells, which I guess
that used to be Johnny Walker.
That used to be Johnny Walker.
Then John Kavanaugh got a hold of his nuts.
Yeah,
not Johnny Walker anymore.
Reined him in. So I think this is not going to be very fun. And Ankalaev is going to win another boring decision and not get a title shot out of it because nobody gives a shit. So I'll probably play that Ankalaev decision plus 250.
There's something coming together here with all these boring Russians and their decisions. Wesley?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Sean here. Like Ankalaev could get takedowns here. I think it's more likely that it's a slow kickboxing match because Johnny Walker doesn't really do much on the feet anymore. Ankalaev doesn't do shit but kick you in the leg, and I think he's gonna kick Johnny Walker in the leg a bunch and not do a whole lot else. Maybe gets a takedown. That decision number is really nice. I'm probably gonna take a little bit of that. I like Ankalaev as a parlay piece here. He'll be one of the ones going with Saeed for sure. And yeah, this is probably a very, very shitty fight. And Johnny Walker used to be fucking fun as hell to watch. And that dipshit who somehow still living off fucking Connor's fucking trickle down economics is turned this guy into fucking
example in history of it ever working.
I was talking to our boy Ricky O'Shack the other day, and I was like, that's the only fucking, that should be the Republican like fucking poster is a picture of fucking Conor McGregor where trickle down economics has actually worked. Dylan Dennis, fucking John Kavanaugh, all of these motherfuckers just making money off of his name. Yeah, I like Ankalaev decision here.
Honestly, that explains a lot about the Republican Party in 2023. It really does. I think I'm probably going to play the over here because Mokaev is who he is, and the 1.5 is only minus 150. Even if I want to just take one of the favorites that I like that's still at a good price somewhere and throw him in with that, or throw the over 1.5 in with that. We know that Walker likes to stand there. now and wait for his moment. And we know that Ankalaev is gonna stand there and do nothing for as long as it takes to win a fight. So yeah, over 1.5 here. I actually the more that I think about it, the more I quite like that. Might even just play that straight. We'll see. Co-main event, middleweight division. Yep, you heard that right. Middleweight division. Kamaru Usman stepping in on short notice and short meniscus to take on Khamzat Chimaev. Shaun.
Chimaev getting a title shot after beating a middleweight title shot after beating John Phillips, the Meerkat, and Kamaru Usman at 36-year-old on 2 weeks' notice is quite the metaphor for UFC in 2023.
Even if you would have beat Paulo, that's not enough to really get a title shot, though. Like,
I wrote down the whole list here. Okay, so bum at middleweight, John Phillips.
Yep.
Bum at welterweight, Reese McKee.
Yep.
Meerkat, Lil Jangalang at welterweight. I mean, that's a solid win for a welterweight.
that
That
was at
into
the
the
time.
top
15.
15. That's that sort of stuff. Then he beat a blown up lightweight Gilbert Burns at welterweight,
Who was fucking him up
in the third round.
and then he beat Kevin Holland at basically middleweight,
180 pounds on 1 day's notice.
12 minutes notice.
Yep.
And now he's fighting Usman on 8 days notice.
You see where he spilled the shit where they had that set up, like everybody did that too. He pretty much admitted it today that the UFC did that shit to get that fight canceled because that nobody wanted the backlash of them like feeding Nate up was fucking massive. So that dude just missed weight on purpose, dude. Straight up.
Yep. Quite glorious. That being said, he is going to fuck Kamaru Usman up. I don't think Usman has much left. That was a very bad performance against Leon Edwards last time out. As we know, his knees are shot. His knees might be even more shot after the Gaeth G session. I think Chimaev gets him out of there. Kamaru's chin has been sketchy at best for a little while. I think Chimaev cracks it. Chimaev actually has power. And this is at 85. It's going to be bad news for Usman. I got 2 units on Chimaev at -110 inside the distance.
Wesley.
Yeah, that performance, I was on Usman again against Edwards the second time around, was just, he looked done, bro. Like, he didn't look like he could even get off at this point anymore. And that was him in like the best shape he's going to be in, down at 170, train, whatever knees he had left coming into that. I mean, 2 weeks notice, man. 185. Like, I think this could be bad. Yeah, I think Chimaev is gonna fuck Usman up, and you're getting a cheap price on him here. Got him in parlays, and I like the inside the distance as well. I don't get this fight whatsoever. It's one of those we talk. It's just a name. They're literally just throwing a name on here because this fight means nothing. It's probably going to just be a one-way truck show.
Sadly, I agree.
It's tough, I know.
And
I'm
like,
still hurting from Burns. I'm
I
still
don't like
hurting.
Usman. I don't care that it's Usman. I want Khamzat to face somebody relevant.
A relevant real middleweight? Is that a hard thing to ask?
It was the fight. That was a great fight for him. Like, that was a good step up against a legitimate middleweight. You know?
Remember when that dude fought YOLO? Like, that was fun. The Khamzat fight would probably be something similar to that. I think it would be kind of crazy. But anyway, like I said at the start of this, Usman doesn't have knees. He hasn't had knees. This shouldn't be shocking. It does not seem like a situation where a former champion is taking a fight because it's a good fight for him to take. He's taking the fight because he is getting a fat old check to take this fight, and he's got ties to the region and all that shit. He's gone and done the stuff with Kadyrov, and like he's with Ali. So I think he's, by MMA fighter standards, he's getting paid to do this, and he's coming in, and I don't think he's going to look good. I don't think that says a lot about Khamzat, other than they want to give him a title shot coming off of this performance. But it said enough to me that I've got 2 parlays, and Shaun, there is a 1 minus 275 around that if you are not aware of, I will share with you. Wes, unfortunately, not available for you. But I've got him parlayed for 2 units with Saeed. Solid Saeed bet there. And I have him parlayed for another unit with like Wood, and there was something else that I included with that one. Mokaev. There we go.
Chalk it up.
Big time chalk. Main event. These cards are built for chalk, though. If we're being honest, there are certain fighters that they definitely, just like a Brazil card or a UK card, there's guys that they want to win when they have.
You're getting better prices than usual on this one than you usually are, though. I think so.
I think so. Main event. Lightweight division. The rematch that people kind of wanted, but definitely not now. Mac and Cheese, Volkanovski, happening again. I'm not sure if you saw the side-by-side of Volkanovski in this one, but the one, he looks like he's in really good shape. And then the other one, he looks like he's got a much better tan. And I'll let you guess which one it is between the previous fight and this fight. But,
we know what
Shaun,
he's been doing.
He's been tanning.
Break it down.
Resting up that surgically repaired shoulder, arm. I forget what it was. But yeah, I like doesn't go to decision in this fight, which is kind of a bit surprising when it comes to these 2 fighters. But I think Volk's shot is to get him early. And I think he knows that. This is 12, 13 days notice. He's got to go in there and tag him and get him out of there, because if he doesn't, Mac and Cheese is just going to wear him out. I think if it doesn't end very early for Volk, he is going to fade a lot quicker than what happened last time. I know Volk won the 5th. I think it's going to be a lot tougher to win the later rounds in this fight with him not really training for the most part. This is a shitty situation. These are 2 very good fighters. I'd rather a full camp for each for the rematch, but that's not what's going to happen. I think both of these guys want to. I think Volkanovski is forced to shoot his shot early, and I think Mac and Cheese wants to leave people without a doubt. So I think he'll take some more chances than he normally would if he's able to survive early. I think Mac and Cheese gets him in the middle rounds, unfortunately. But yeah, 1 unit doesn't go at minus 120. Under 2.5 or under 4.5 at Bet Online opened like plus 145, and I saw it and didn't bet it right away. And then, of course, 3 days later, it's absolutely hammered down. So now I'm taking doesn't go at juice odds. Love it.
It happens. Maybe that's a good sign. You know, the reverse CLV or whatever.
Reverse CLV, yeah, that's what we need.
That's how you reverse a year. You know, you reverse the CLV and then you climb back up the hill. That's how you do it. That's proven. Charts and stuff. Wes, breakdown.
Yeah. The shitty part about this is what Shaun mentioned, that these dudes are kind of like they're in a box sometimes. They don't have like the say that they should have, and there's no way that Volk should be fighting this guy on 2 weeks' notice. He should not be doing that. He knows he's got to be the quote unquote kind of company dude, and I'm going to fight and take these fights when they want me to and shit. Sure, he's getting paid nicely for it, but this is a horrible situation. Like Brad just mentioned, like this guy's been on the beach and shit, man. Like there is no way he should be like. I'm with Shaun here. Like if Volk doesn't tag him early, he's gonna probably get worked over here, and he's gonna fade this time. I like mac and cheese in the fight. I hate to say it. If this was the normal circumstance and Volk was prepared for this fight coming in, and I was getting plus 225 on Volk, I would be betting in this spot after watching that last fight. I think you absolutely can't now. Like a 2-week notice, mac and cheese is fucking good. Like he's boring as shit at times. That guy's very, very good. I think he finishes Volk in the later rounds as well, 4th, 5th, somewhere around there. So I do like mac and cheese here. I kind of like fight inside the distance, but I don't know. That could get kind of shaky because Volk is a tough fucking dude. I know Shaun mentioned that mac and cheese wants to leave no doubt in this one. I agree with that. Man, Volk is really, really tough to get out of there. So I'm probably going to end up parlaying fucking mac and cheese with something small just because I feel like at that kind of price, I have to. I hate doing it because I really wanted to bet Volk in the rematch of this fight, but just not under these circumstances.
Yeah, same as Wes. I wanted to bet Volk when this fight, or if this fight eventually happened again. Obviously not like this. I'm just looking because the best price right now is plus 185, I think, for Mac by decision. And honestly, I hear what you're both saying about Volk coming in and fading. I don't think that's him. And even if he does get tired, he's still good enough at everything that I don't think mac and cheese is going to finish him. I mean, we saw how the first fight went as far as skills go, and it's basically mac and cheese is bigger and a better wrestler. And that's what's going to win him this fight as well. I don't see it leading to dominant positions and dangerous situations for Volk. I just think it's going to be kind of a shitty, maybe 49, 46, 50, 45 type of decision where one round they chill on the feet and trade stuff, and the rest of the time mac and cheese gets takedowns. Earlier in the week, it was like plus 205 for Mac by decision. I took some of that, a unit, and I hate myself for it, but I just think that's how this fight's going to go. Kind of not the best way to end the card, but it is how we are ending the card. Do we want to add anything? Do we want to raise the mood, perhaps by talking about anything that's going to happen next week?
I mean, there's no fight card next week, but there is the hog.
There's a fight though. There is a fight happening next week. I haven't looked up that card though. Is that card actually any good? Like I haven't looked up the actual fight card. Like usually they put some like decent names underneath it, like actual boxers and shit.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that fight. I can't wait to watch it.
It's going to be like right in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
There's some fight for the British heavyweight title. Joe Parker's fighting Carlos Takam.
Oh yeah, we got some bum heavies going on. That's gonna be a fun card.
It's all heavyweights, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun as hell.
It's sloppy. We'll take some slop.
I mean,
I will be sloppy while we are watching.
We're gonna do day drinking. We're gonna have bets on these shitty fucking fights, and
then we're gonna hit the craps table.
Let's go.
Yeah,
it's how the day is gonna go.
Lance has been on like.
Is Lance going to show up?
He's been on.
That is a good question.
I don't know. Is he showing up in Vegas? He's been on like a pretty bad craps run for like a while now.
So what you're saying is he's due.
He's due. Absolutely.
We got to like be in that presence. I think he's got to be finally due. We got all the boys together. Like,
we're going to turn it around. We turned around Shaun's betting last week.
1 week.
We're going to turn around Lance's craps this week or next week. and just continue the trend through the rest of the year. It's going to be tremendous. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing you gentlemen in, 7 days? 8 days? Something like that. It's going to be tremendous. Until then, we've got an afternoon pay-per-view. Gotta like that. And we'll see you in a few weeks, folks.